Hello everyone, welcome back to another process video in the series Inspiration to Creation with Megan and I. This week's prompt is our inspiration is going to be from a book. And this is the inspiration that I got. Now it could be the cover of a book, it could be an adult book, a child's book, it could be the way the cover actually curls up or is torn, or even the distressed edges that some books have. But in my case, I fell in love with this book that my daughter was reading a couple weeks ago. Because all the covers in this series look like they are watercolor paintings. And so I knew right away when I saw this one that I wanted to do a layout of my daughter. And so I had this stencil and I actually did a little freeze frame there for you. It's reminded me of a mermaid's tail. And on the cover doesn't really necessarily say, or she's not a mermaid, but the title has the mermaid in it. And that's kind of like another vision that I had. And so right away I thought, I'm going to use a stencil and I'm going to have it go down vertically and I'm going to do some watercolors. But then I started expanding it more and I actually did this like 3 different trials, and I'll talk to you more about that in a minute. So here you see it where, tell me if that's not gorgeous. So as soon as I had that, now what I actually forgot to tell you of what I used. I went through my stash and I have modeling paste, and I bought this modeling paste and 2 other products back in the day when 2Ps was around, and Wilna Furstenberg was a garden girl and she brought out mixed media. I think she was like the very first one. Everybody was going crazy over it. So I bought these 3 products and had opened them up and never even really used it except for the modeling paste. So my gel medium would not even open. My husband tried it. It is sealed shut, so I tossed that. But I had this glaze, and I thought, I don't even know what glaze is for. Can I use it? And lo and behold, you can see the stencil. It shows you the image. So I guess glaze can be used for stencil. I don't know. I'm kind of was winging this at this point because I'm on a strict freeze and was trying to use what I have. And so after that, I went through my stash and grabbed some shimmer paints. And now I did not gesso this at all. There is going to be a ton of water, and I was actually kind of worried that it was going to buckle. However, it is completely flat, and I don't know if that is because of the glazed and possibly the stencil. I don't know, but it did not warp my paper at all. So I thought I was going to do different shades of my shimmer paints, and so you can see there on my left how I was kind of just playing around with them to see what the colors would be. And I'm going to have it go from like yellow, pink, and then an aqua or teal. And I love that. And as I'm starting to play around with this, I started thinking, well, what if I actually create a mermaid's tail versus having just this, drippings of the water go down on the left-hand side. And I was going to place the photo kind of off towards the right. So it wasn't, covering up all this beautiful work that I'm doing right here. And so my mind is kind of just whirling, and even though you're not going to see all of it, you'll see all of this, but then I started thinking after I was done, well, what if and I laid down the photo, I thought it was too much. And so then I thought, well, what if I just do brush strokes on the bottom half the same exact way that I did this here? And of course I had to let this dry. And you'll see that image in a second where the 12 by 12 paper is completely painted. And I just wanted to see different textures of how it looked by itself without a stencil, because at this point right now I'm still coming up with different ideas of what I can do. And then that's when I created a second sheet, 12 by 12. And I didn't film it at all because it's pretty much me doing the same thing. However, the colors are not so saturated. I left it, definitely looking like watercolor paint, where it was very, very light. And then I used my silhouette cameo to cut out a mermaid's tail. And I thought, all right, let me start just kind of playing around here and letting that paint drip, and tell me that isn't gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I love this. So here's me trying again, like I was telling you earlier, how I painted the bottom half, just to try to figure out what I wanted to do. And the reason why I did this, and then I did a second sheet, but not, like I said, not so saturated in color, is because I thought about also I was going to cut out circles and use the bottom half or the second sheet that I painted and use those circles in a different way. But I didn't end up doing that, and here is where I'm like, okay, so I know that the stencil works and I know this paint works because, like I said, I had no idea if what this glaze was going to do because I've never played with it before. It's always been modeling paste. And so once I knew that that works and the watercolors took, I then grabbed my mermaid tail, and now I'm just, again, using the stencil to create the image, and then I'm going to watercolor that. Now, you're not going to see me watercolor this one because I do it off camera. I think my kids distracted me, and when I came back in the room, I, just went straight to painting. And but I will show you how that second tail turns out. But I end up, what I do is use that tail to, or my third tail, to create or to trace the painting that I did originally. Because I loved it so much. So I was getting excited because everything's turning out the way I envisioned. Now, on a little side note, those cups that you see with the water paint, I've had a long time ago. Actually, Jen Scow asked me about them, and I got them, and I'm sure they probably still have them, at the dollar store. I was going to say the 99 cents, but it's a dollar store. So if you have a dollar store near you, they're in the little art section, and I love them. Next, I am using the collection from Pink Paisley called Summer Lights, and that 12 by 12 paper is beautiful. Oh my, I think I could wallpaper my scrapbooking room and be totally content because that paper is gorgeous. So here I am just doing a little cut edge because I'm only going to have it going on to 2 of the sides. And then I'm going to put the tail and glue that down. Now, I had to change out my ATG. Normally I don't keep my ATG when I'm using it in my videos, but I don't know where I got this ATG tape from. It's gold and plaid, and the texture of it is very different than anything else I've ever used because most of them always have red and black plaid when you open the package and the roll comes out. So I don't know what it is, but it was giving me so much problems, and it actually, I left it in here when I use it for my daughter's photograph. And normally I don't use ATG gun on the back of a photo because it isn't, at least the one I have, is not acid free. And I don't know what I was thinking. I usually use my sticky dots, but I did on this case, and then I messed it up because it goes uneven and just kind of, it drives me nuts, but it kind of made my picture bumpy, and there's like glue back there, but in the end I fixed it, but it's still not completely flat as if I got it from I picked it up from the Costco. So I'm going to have this paper, or I'm going to put this paper down just to add a layer, but I'm going to talk to you about the layout itself because it's getting close to the end, and you're going to see that this layout is very simple. Not a lot of layers, and I'm the type where I love, it's just whatever you're in the mood for, at least for me. If I'm in the mood for a lot of layers, I'll put a lot of layers. If I'm in the mood of watercolor, then that's what I'll do. But in this case, I didn't want a lot of clusters because in all these different layers, I really wanted the focus on the photograph. I love photography, and I wish I had time to do it a lot more often. But when I do it, I will take like 200 pictures, and out of those 200 pictures, you'll only have like, at least, taking even a photography class, you'll have like maybe 5 ones, if you're lucky, 5 that you are like on point and just amazing. And this photograph here of my daughter is just unreal. I love it. I just kind of called out her name, and I didn't want her to smile or anything. As soon as I called out her name, I just started taking shots. And so I really wanted the focus to be not only on the photograph, but on the water painting that I did. It's gorgeous, that mermaid's tail. And then not only that, the title itself is gorgeous, and it's that same paper that I used from that 12 by 12 Pink Paisley Summer Lights line. It's just a scaled down from the 6x6 paper pad. Now, you did see me earlier use the 6x6 paper pad. I love when they have cut apart sheets in there because it's just a more scaled down. It's not so big. Especially with what I have going on here, I wouldn't want it to be big because I wouldn't want to overpower or take anything away from where I want your eyes to be drawn, which is, like I said, to me, the clusters are the title, the photograph, and that gorgeous mermaid tail. It is just stunning. But yeah, that's it, and I'm super excited about the way it came out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. I would love to hear from you. Please send a comment. I always get back to anyone who gives me comments right away. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Make sure you go check out Megan's. Hers is absolutely amazing. And yeah, you all have an amazing day. Bye.